Ever get that feeling? You know that feeling like the information you need, it's like it's just scattered everywhere.
Oh, totally.
You find yourself flipping between a million browser tabs,
Yeah.
digging through old files, and it's just like, there has to be a better way.
Right.
Like, what if you could just search everything at once?
Everything.
Yeah, I'm talking the entire web, but also all your own personal files and notes, like in one go.
Wow. That would be...
And that's kind of what Perplexity is getting at, I think, with this latest update of theirs.
Yeah, and it's something a lot of users have been asking for, too. I mean, Perplexity has always been about, finding those really valuable insights, those needle in a haystack things.
For sure.
But this just takes it to a whole other level.
Absolutely. And just so everyone's on the same page, because Perplexity is this AI-powered research tool that's been really making a name for itself lately. But this update, this internal knowledge search, it seems like a game changer. What do you think?
It's seriously innovative. When you think about it, we've always had these separate places for information, right? Like our own files, company databases, and then, of course, the entire internet.
Yeah.
But Perplexity is doing something I haven't really seen before. They're breaking down those walls, letting you search across all of it at the same time.
It's wild. I don't know. I was looking at some examples they gave, and it's like, instead of having to choose just one way of looking at things, you suddenly have this, like, panoramic view.
Totally.
Imagine, like, you're a financial analyst, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And you're getting ready for this big meeting, and you need to know the absolute latest news, but you also want to factor in, like, your firm's past research on a specific company.
Right, which usually means...
a nightmare of different platforms, different files.
Exactly. You're jumping all over the place, and it's easy to miss something crucial.
100%.
But with this internal knowledge search, that whole process is streamlined. You get the full context from inside and outside right there in front of you.
It just appears.
Basically. And don't forget, Perplexity isn't just dumping raw data on you. It uses AI to go through it all, pick out the connections and insights that are actually relevant. That's the real magic here.
It's almost like having a whole team of, like, research assistants working behind the scenes, except it's all algorithms and machine learning.
Exactly. And it's not just finance either.
Huh.
Perplexity gave examples of, like, sales teams using this to make these amazingly detailed proposals, HR departments making their benefits info easy to find, even startups getting real-time feedback on their R&D based on current best practices. Like, the potential here is huge.
It really is. Makes you think, how much faster, how much smarter could we all be working if we weren't always fighting this information overload?
Right. It's all about the right information at the right time, and this update seems like a huge step towards that.
And speaking of smarter ways to work, Perplexity, they didn't stop at just giving us access to more information, right? Right. They also introduced this whole spaces thing with this update.
Yeah. Spaces is really interesting. It adds this whole other layer to everything because it gets at the collaborative side of, research and decision-making.
Oh, I get you.
It recognizes that, like most of us, we don't work completely on our own.
Right. We're not all just hoarding knowledge in our, like, own little research caves.
Exactly.
So, okay, how do spaces fit into all of this? What is it exactly?
You can think of it kind of like a shared research hub.
Okay.
But it's powered by AI like everything else Perplexity does.
So let's say you're on a team and you're working on this big project.
Right.
And you need a central place to, like, gather research, share your findings, just bounce ideas off each other.
That's exactly what Spaces provides.
Okay.
It's that virtual environment, but it has Perplexity's AI kind of built right in.
So it's a lot more dynamic than, like, just a shared folder on the cloud or something.
Oh, for sure.
You're really bringing that AI analysis into the mix, right into where you're collaborating.
Exactly. And the level of control you have, it's pretty amazing. Like, teams can really tweak how the AI acts within their space.
Oh, interesting.
Like, you can set parameters for the AI's responses, even connect it to specific files that are relevant to that project. It's about making the AI work the way the team needs it to.
I see.
Not the other way around.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I think this could be really huge for, things like when you're working on client proposals or like even for students who are collaborating on research papers.
Yeah,
everyone's got access to the same info, which is great, but then the AI is also there acting like as this intelligent assistant. And it helps to connect the dots, see things that, individual people might miss.
Yeah, it's bringing all those threads together.
It really is, and it makes you realize, like, we're seeing this really interesting merging of how humans work together with AI assistants.
It's true, it's true.
It's fascinating, but it does make you think, with all this internal data, these shared workspaces, what about keeping everything secure? What about privacy?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
Especially with companies, dealing with sensitive information and all that. So how is Perplexity approaching, like, the security and privacy side of this whole thing?
Well, they seem very aware of those concerns, which is, a good sign.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
For them, it seems like control is a really big deal.
Okay, I like that.
With spaces, you decide who gets invited, what files they can actually see. Like, they really give users the power to decide.
So it's not like everyone can just see everything. It's not this free-for-all knowledge pool.
Definitely not.
Okay.
And actually, when it comes to their Enterprise Pro users, which are usually those bigger companies,
Right.
Perplexity automatically makes sure their data isn't used for, general AI training.
Oh, so it's like their own little,
It's like a walled-off section of the AI just for their info.
that's reassuring, especially for those bigger companies.
Right.
But what about like individual pro users?
Yeah, good question.
Do they have a say in, if their data gets used or not?
Absolutely. They can opt out of AI training right in their settings. And, I think it shows that Perplexity really cares about user privacy, which is, super important when we're talking about things like internal company info. But, it's not just about keeping information safe. Perplexity also hinted at expanding this whole knowledge system even further.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this where they start, like, teasing the future a little bit?
Exactly. They mentioned some upcoming integrations that, they could be a really big deal, especially for, those Enterprise Pro users. Again, we're talking about platforms like Crunchbase and FactSet.
Okay, now those are some big names. So for everyone listening, Crunchbase, they're like the place to go for company information. And then you've got FactSet, which is like essential for financial data on Wall Street.
Right, exactly.
So what does it mean, like practically speaking, to integrate those with Perplexity?
Well, it means that internal knowledge search could become even more powerful. You wouldn't just be searching, your company's stuff in the open web.
Okay, I'm following.
Imagine searching those specialized databases, but right inside Perplexity.
Oh, wow.
Like, a financial analyst could be researching a company, and they could pull data directly from FactSet without ever leaving Perplexity.
So instead of having like 3 different tabs open trying to make sense of it all, it's just there.
It's all connected.
That's incredible.
Right. And it really could change how we do research in general. If they can add these platforms, who knows what other data they could integrate in the future.
It's wild to think about. It's like they're building a master key to unlock any information you could possibly need.
It really is. It's a really exciting time to be curious, that's for sure.
That's the truth. And I think for me, the most exciting thing is that this AI isn't just finding information. It's, it's connecting it, putting it all together in a way that actually makes sense.
Right. And in a way that's useful. Like, having access to tons of data is one thing, but having the AI pick out the stuff that matters, that's a game changer.
100%. And that's what Perplexity is doing. And for anyone listening, it makes you wonder, right? Like, how would your world change if you had that kind of access? What would you explore? What would you create? It's something to think about as Perplexity continues to, push the boundaries of what's possible with AI.